Hey y'all, I'm Mandy and this is Mandy in the Making. You guys have really enjoyed my canned biscuit dough video, so I thought I would bring you episode number 2. I've been scouring the internet and found 4 more recipes that were just a little bit different than something I've seen over and over again, and I'm going to bring those to you today. For our first recipe, we are having it for dinner tonight. It is called Bacon Cheeseburger Biscuit Casserole. Sounds good, right? The only chopping I need to do is just to chop up this onion really quickly. Okay, to get started, we are just going to brown up 2 pounds of lean ground beef. I'm going to turn this large skillet onto medium-high heat. Now that our ground beef is done cooking, I went ahead and drained it because this was 85-15, so it had a good bit of grease on there. Let's add in our onion. So I have 1 small onion diced. And we're going to cook this for just a couple of minutes. Our onions have softened just a little bit. We're gonna add in some soup. Now the recipe calls for cheddar cheese soup. I couldn't find it at 2 grocery stores that I went to, so I had to stand there in the grocery store and Google it, and it said you could use cream of celery instead. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm also gonna add just a little bit of cheese in with it. Also gonna add a 1/2 cup of ketchup. And a couple of tablespoons of mustard. I did lower the heat to this pan to about medium, just a heads up on that. We're just gonna let this cook for just a couple of minutes. Now we're gonna add a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. As well as a tablespoon each of onion powder and garlic powder. I'm gonna add in the rest of this bag of real bacon bits. You need about a 1/2 cup. Okay, so I've got a 9x13. This is probably like a 10x14. It's a little bit larger. I'm going to spray it with some olive oil spray just so it's good and greased. Okay, let's take this mixture and put it into our 9x13 and spread it out evenly. And this is bacon cheeseburger casserole, so we need to add cheese all over the top. I've got mozzarella, and I've also got a little cheddar cheese that I'm gonna add as well. So in total, it's probably around 3 cups of cheese. And let's add just a little more bacon on top. And now we're gonna top it with biscuits. We're gonna cut each biscuit into 6 pieces. That's it. This is going in the oven at 375 for 18 to 20 minutes, just until our biscuits are done. They're nice and golden. So if you are new here, we always do a taste test. So I've got my sous chef over here, my official taste tester, my husband Steven, and he's gonna do a little taste test for us.
He's the eater.
I'm the cooker, you're the eater.
That's right. I love my job. That is really good.
Is it?
Yes. First of all, that bacon flavor.
Yeah.
That is coming out big time. As soon as you hit it, as soon as you put it in your mouth, bacon just boom.
That's awesome.
And then cream of celery soup that you put in there, you can definitely tell that that is adding a whole bunch of flavor to that.
Okay.
Obviously the garlic and everything.
Yeah, the biscuit's good. They're cooked through.
Oh yeah.
So this is a hit.
Tastes like a bacon cheeseburger.
Well, that's what it's supposed to taste like.
Yeah, there is no shortage of flavor on this one, that's for sure.
Awesome. All right, that's recipe number 1. Let's move on to recipe number 2. Okay, recipe number 2 is a breakfast recipe. And I've made a recipe like this in a What's for Dinner, Winter Dinners video a while back. I think it was a subby supper. I don't know that this is the exact same recipe, but it's very similar. I mentioned winter dinners. If you are new here, every Friday I do a new video showing you 3 easy recipes that are great for your dinners throughout the week. And if you're interested in seeing that, check out my description box below. I have a playlist of winter dinners and then also of our family favorite meals. So this meal is a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit casserole. The prep is super easy, and then it goes in the oven for almost an hour, and then we'll have breakfast this morning. The first thing I need to do is preheat my oven to 350. And I've got this almost 9x13 pan. The one I showed you yesterday was a little bit larger. This is a little bit smaller, but I think it's gonna work. I'm just gonna grease this really quickly. Okay, I've heated this skillet to medium-high heat. We're just gonna cook a pound of hot sausage. You could just use regular if you don't prefer spicy. The recipe calls for 2 cups of Colby Jack cheese, but I've just got some cheddar cheese here on hand, so that's what we're gonna use. Okay, now we're gonna take this large can of biscuits and we're gonna cut each biscuit into 1/8. Now we're gonna take these biscuits and line the bottom of our dish. Now in this bowl, I'm gonna take 6 eggs and 1/2 cup of milk and whisk it all together. I'm going to season this with just a little salt and pepper. There we go. Now let's continue to assemble our casserole. On top of our biscuits, I'm going to add our sausage. I did drain this really well and let it cool down just a little bit. Now we're going to take our 2 cups of cheese and sprinkle that over top. I may not need this entire 2 cups. This might be a little more than 2 cups, but I know a furry little girl who would love to help me out with that. That should be good. Now we're going to take our egg mixture and pour it over top. Lastly, we're just going to mix this gravy mix with some water and we'll pour it over top. This is a 2.75 ounce pack of gravy mix. I'm adding 2 cups of water. And now we're just going to pour this over our egg mixture. And now we're just going to cover it with some aluminum foil. I have sprayed my foil with olive oil spray so that the cheese does not stick. Now Now this is going in the oven at 350 for 45 to 55 minutes. All right, give it a try without the hot sauce and then.
Yep. Right up my alley because I love breakfast casseroles. Probably one of my favorite. I would say the thing that I noticed the most about this is that there's just a lot of food there. Like there's a lot of ingredients.
It's
very
bulky.
hearty.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I used hot sausage, so does it have a little bit of heat to it?
A little spice in the back there, yeah.
Can you taste the gravy in there too?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
When you mentioned it, I had forgotten about it.
Yeah.
You said that you had put it in there.
This would be perfect for Christmas morning. So if you were looking for a new casserole to try on Christmas morning, you found it. Okay, let's make a really quick and simple one. It's a great twist on just doing a ham and cheese sandwich. We are gonna do stuffed honey ham biscuits. First thing I need to do is preheat my oven to 350. Ideally, you would want the flaky biscuits. My store did not have them, so I'm gonna have a little bit of a time trying to separate these because you're gonna separate, there's 8 biscuits in here, you're gonna make 16 rounds, and if it was flaky, it would be really easy to do that. So I have my work cut out for me. Okay, it really wasn't that bad. There was still, I feel like, a little section in the middle of it to where I could pull it apart. You just kind of have to go around it and find it, but when you do, you can separate it out. There we go. That took less than 2 minutes, so I'm very pleased about that. Now I'm just gonna take a piece of Swiss cheese and fold it in half, and a piece of ham and fold it in half and put it in between the 2 layers. Okay, these are going on a cookie sheet and then going in the oven. So these are baking at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes. The recipe I found just says to top it with a little bit of honey, but we're just gonna step it up a little bit. We're gonna make our own little honey mustard concoction. I'm gonna use equal parts Dijon mustard, honey, and Duke's mayo. We'll add a heaping tablespoon, maybe close to 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, the same amount of Dijon mustard, and some honey. I just did a little taste test of that. It's so good. So I'm gonna put that in the fridge until our biscuits come out, and then we'll be ready to eat. Okay, so some of these kind of slid around, I guess because of the cheese melting, but other than that, they look wonderful. They smell great. But let's take it up a notch and add our homemade honey mustard to them. Okay, Steven is busy right now, so I'm gonna taste test this. It may be a little messy, but that's okay. Let's try it. That is so simple, yet so good. I'm glad that I did the Dijon mustard with the mayonnaise and the honey. I think that elevated it a little bit and gave it just enough flavor. I feel like with just honey, it wouldn't have quite enough flavor, but that's really good. Another thing that I'm tempted to do is add a little Auntie No-No's to this. If you aren't familiar with Auntie No-No's, this is one of their seasonings. It's called the Everything Seasoning. We put it on everything. If you're interested in purchasing it, it's not in grocery stores. I've got it linked below along with a discount code if you're interested, or you can always check on Amazon too. But I think I'm gonna add this to the Dijon mustard, honey mustard concoction, just to step up the flavor just a little bit more. Let's try it. Okay, so I put some more of the sauce with the anti-no-nos on my biscuit, so it's now very, very messy. That's perfection. You should definitely give these a try.
I love this thing.
So he finally came in here and was able to take a bite and try this out, and he was like, "Oh, this is good."
It's kind of like that.
Okay.
So it feels like the bread is like it's like hot and steamy type of thing.
Yes.
You know, it's like it's been steamed or whatever.
Correct.
And then the cheese is melted and
Yeah. So it's like it's been steamed. Yeah.
so it's like it's been steamed.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I love that.
And you like the honey mustard?
The honey mustard, yes. Gives it a little pop
Yeah.
of flavor in that. And then the Dijon mustard gives it a little spiciness to it.
Yeah. Okay. So Cole tried it too, and he loved it as well. And Gracie, believe it or not, has tried some of it too, and she loved it too. That's why she's over there asking Steven for some now. Good morning. It is 7:18 in the morning, and I'm about to get breakfast started. I'm the only one up in my house. In a couple of minutes, the other two will rise and grace me with their presence. But I do want to have breakfast ready, and our fourth biscuit recipe is a breakfast recipe. So it's a twist on one that you're probably very familiar with. It's one that I love, but I don't make because it tends to be really messy, and that is monkey bread. But we're gonna make monkey bread muffins. I'm not making the full recipe today. As always, all the recipes are gonna be linked in the description box. All the ones from today. Anytime you watch a video of mine, just expand that description box and you can get the recipe. But I'm gonna be cutting it down today just because we don't need 12 of these, because we'll probably eat them all today. We don't need to do that, but I will have the original recipe linked below. Let's get started. And as always, I'm gonna come over here and preheat my oven to 350. Okay, we're gonna cut these into 4 pieces each. The original recipe calls for 3 cans of biscuits. We're just gonna do 1 can today since it's just the 3 of us and it's just for breakfast today. Okay, since I'm pretty much doing 1/3 of the recipe, I'm gonna add about a little less than 1/2 cup of sugar here into this bowl, and maybe about a teaspoon of cinnamon, maybe a little less. Let's just mix that all together, and we're just gonna toss our biscuit dough in here with it. Okay, so I'm gonna take 1 full biscuit plus another 1/4 from a different one, and just toss it here in this mixture. And let's take it over to our muffin tin. Okay, we're gonna be making 6 muffins. So I went ahead and sprayed 6 of my muffin cups. I'm gonna take our biscuit dough that I just tossed in the sugar and cinnamon and put it here into the muffin cup. Honestly, I don't feel like my muffin cups are large enough to hold 5 pieces. I think it's just gonna hold the 4. There we go, I can make it happen. Okay, so let me fill these up really quick and I'll be right back. That step is done. One last step before they go into the oven. Okay, in this small saucepan, I have 3 tablespoons of butter that are melting. I'm also gonna add in a little more than 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Okay, it's melting down, but we want to bring it to a boil for about 1 minute, and then we're gonna go pour it over the top of our muffins. Okay, that's been boiling for a minute. Let's go. Pour it over our muffins. Try to do this one-handed while holding a camera steady. Not the easiest thing. Okay, these are going in the oven at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes. Okay, couple of things. I think the recipe calls for smaller biscuits maybe. These are the grands. So yeah, I should have just done 4 in each cup, but that's fine. And yeah, we're just gonna let these sit for about 10 minutes before I remove them and put them on plates. But that's one mega muffin for sure. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. We're going to attempt to move these out. Oh, they're not bad. I was scared they were gonna fall apart. Okay.
Oh boy. What is this?
It's a mega monkey bread muffin.
Mega monkey bread.
It wasn't supposed to be mega, but
Okay.
it kind of exploded.
Let's take a mega bite.
Okay.
Well, first of all, it's really good. I love the cinnamon, the cinnamon and the sugar.
Yeah.
Good texture on the bread portion of it.
Yeah.
Nice and.
It's really good. It's not. It's like a coffee cake kind of thing where it could double as a dessert or a breakfast thing. We're about to go pour us some coffee, some more coffee. It'll be our second cup. And this is gonna go perfect with coffee. And if you're looking for an alternative to monkey bread in the huge bundt pan that can be kind of messy and kind of a pain, this is a really great option.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed getting 4 more canned biscuit dough recipes. If you missed my original video, I'm gonna link it below. I'll link it here in the eye in the sky as well. But if you haven't already, I would love for you to join my YouTube family. Hit that red subscribe button before you go. And you can always click the little bell right next to it to turn on notifications so that anytime I post a new video, YouTube will tell you. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.